Colleen Margaretta McCullough Howe was an Australian author known for her novels, her most well-known being The Thornbird's Life. McCullough was born in 1937 in Wellington, in the Central West region of New South Wales, to James and Laurie McCullough. Her mother was a New Zealander of part Maori descent. During her childhood, the family moved around a great deal and she was also a voracious reader. She had a younger brother, Carl, who drowned in the Mediterranean when he was 25. She based a character in The Thornbirds on him, and also wrote about him in life without the boring bits. Before her tertiary education, McCullough earned a living as a teacher, librarian and journalist. In her first year of medical studies at the University of Sydney, she suffered dermatitis from surgical soap and was told to abandon her dreams of becoming a medical doctor. Instead, she switched to neuroscience and worked at Royal North Shore Hospital in Sydney. In 1963, McCullough moved for 4 years to the United Kingdom. At the Great Ormond Street Hospital in London, she met the chairman of the neurology department at Yale University, who offered her a research associate job at Yale. She spent 10 years from April 1967 to 1976 researching and teaching in the Department of Neurology at the Yale Medical School in New Haven, Connecticut, United States. It was while at Yale that she wrote her first 2 books. One of these, The Thornbirds, became an international bestseller that in 1983 was turned into one of the most watched television miniseries of all time. The success of these books enabled her to give up her medical scientific career and to try to live on her own terms. In the late 1970s, after stints in London and Connecticut, she settled on the isolation of Norfolk Island, off the coast of mainland Australia, where she met her husband, Rick Robinson. They married in 1984. Under his birth name Cedric Newton Ion Robinson, he was a member of the Norfolk Legislative Assembly. He changed his name formally to Rick Newton Ion Robinson in 2002. McCullough's 2008 novel The Independence of Miss Mary Bennet engendered controversy with her reworking of characters from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Susanna Fullerton, the president of the Jane Austen Society of Australia, said she shuddered that Elizabeth Bennet was rewritten as weak, and Mr. Darcy as savage. She is one of the strongest, liveliest heroines in literature, and Darcy's generosity of spirit and nobility of character make her fall in love with him. Why should those essential traits in both of them change in 20 years? McCullough died on the 29th of January 2015, at the age of 77, in the Norfolk Island Hospital from apparent kidney failure after suffering from a series of small strokes. She had suffered from failing eyesight and was confined to a wheelchair. She was buried in a traditional Norfolk Island funeral ceremony at the Emily Bay Cemetery on the island. Honours. In 1984, a portrait of McCullough, painted by Wesley Walters, was a finalist in the Archibald Prize. The prize is awarded for the best portrait painting, preferentially of some man or woman distinguished in art, letters, science or politics. The depth of historical research for the novels on ancient Rome led to her being awarded a Doctor of Letters degree by Macquarie University in 1993. She was appointed an Officer of the Order of Australia on 12 June 2006. For service to the arts as an author and to the community through roles supporting national and international educational programs, medico-scientific disciplines and charitable organizations and causes. Bibliography. Selected novels: Tim, The Thornbirds, An Indecent Obsession, A Creed for the Third Millennium, The Ladies of Missolonghi, The Song of Troy, Morgan's Run, The Touch, Angel Puss, The Independence of Miss Mary Bennet, Bittersweet, Masters of Rome series, The First Man in Rome, The Grass Crown, Fortune's Favorites, Caesar's Women, Caesar, The October Horse, Antony and Cleopatra, Carmine Delmonico series. McCullough also published 5 murder mysteries in the Carmine Delmonico series. On, Off, Too Many Murders, Naked Cruelty, The Prodigal Son, Sins of the Flesh. Biographical work The Courage and the Will, The Life of Roden Cutler VC. Memoir Life Without the Boring Bits. Screen adaptations. Tim, made into a movie in 1979 starring Mel Gibson and Piper Laurie. The Thorn Birds, made into a TV miniseries in 1983 starring Richard Chamberlain and Barbara Stanwyck. An Indecent Obsession, made into a movie in 1985 starring Gary Sweet. The Thorn Birds. The Missing Years, made into a TV miniseries in 1996 starring Richard Chamberlain. It covers a 14-year period from the novel which was omitted from the first production.